So we're going to segue this right into the next session, which is Lodge Program. All right, before we begin this program, I'm going to do the same thing Kevin did. I'm going to write some objectives over here on our good morning board. We're going to do this. Here we go. Good morning. Let's go. Objectives. All right. So I'm going to open this up to everybody. What do you guys expect out of a session called Lodge Program? What is it? Right? Does that work?
It sounds like a session on Lodge Program.
That it does. 2 question marks. Does anyone else have any other expectations for this course? Excellent. All right. So what you guys are about to get then is going to be something that maybe a little vague to some of you. I know Lodge Program, when we start talking about it, it's one of those things where we can't really pinpoint this one thing as this is how to Lodge Program. This is unit elections. This is fellowship weekends. This is how you're supposed to do it, and here's a bullet list of how we're going to do it. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. What I'm going to do in this session is I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of a couple different methods to make your programs, whichever those may be, make them even better than what they are right now. So, with my fancy clicker, that does not work. Mitchell's going to click for me. All right. So our objectives, you can hit the button again. We're going to understand some basic scheduling skills through the use of backdaters. We're going to actually go through and make a backdater today. We're also going to brainstorm ways to make each event unique and different, as well as discuss effective promotional methods, which will increase communication and participation. All right. So you guys are sitting here as members of the LEC, right? You guys have obviously been to Lodge programs before. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to remind ourselves of the purpose of these programs. What does it really mean? So if you're going to hit the slide right there, click it. All right, Lodge Program. This is taken directly out of the Field Operations Guide. It reads, the Lodge Program should be directed toward achieving the purpose of the order, camping promotion, council service, leadership development, and cheerful service to the community. Now, that's open to interpretation, obviously. The way I'd like to interpret it is it's our duty as members of the LEC to plan, prepare, and develop programs reaching beyond ourselves to focus on a variety of audiences, so to speak. You see, we've got purpose of the order, therefore we have airmen. We've got camping promotion, which is fellow scouts in units. We've also got council service, reaching out beyond just scouting units to Cub Scouts. We also got leadership development and cheerful service to the community. So these programs are really a far-reaching element. It's not just focusing on one particular area. This is everything. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over a couple methods to make sure that our goals are met. So what makes an event great? All right, let's talk about some events. If you could hit the button for me real quick. Think about events you guys have attended in the past. What made them great? And what made them the best event you've ever been to? So I'm going to go back over here to our whiteboard, and we're going to discuss a couple things that made events that you guys went to memorable. So think of your favorite event that you've been to as a member of Lowanne Nimat Lodge. People can just shout things out. I'll write them down. Favorite event?
Meeting lots of new people.
Okay, so meeting new people. To write big so everybody can see. Okay, meeting new people.
Ordeal.
The ordeal. What about the ordeal?
How you watch people come into the air.
Okay, so that would kind of fall under meeting new people then, right? Okay. Conclave. Okay.
Learning new skills about yourself and others.
Okay, so learning new skills, that kind of a training. Whether those be leadership skills, scouting skills. All right, anyone else? All right. So these are all really cool things. These are all parts of a program. All right, but what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what makes a program even better so we can do these things, like Conclave. Conclave has a lot of different programs going into it, including trainings for skills, as well as meeting new people. What we're going to do today is we're going to focus on Lodge program. So if Mitch could hit the screen for me real quick. To summarize, I'm going to cover 3 points today. We're going to go over some proper planning, we're going to do uniqueness, and we're also going to do promotions. Okay, so let's start out with proper planning. To decide whether an event is doable or not, we got to ask ourselves a couple questions. I'm sure you guys are quite familiar with these questions that I'm about to show you here. Some people call them the 5 W's and the H. The who, what, when, where, why, and how. All right? How are we going to accomplish these goals? All right? The next slide. This is a backdater. How many of you have used a backdater before? Show of hands. All right, I see a lot of adults over here have used it. And I see Tim over there. All right, how many of you have actually created a backdater?
We're talking Tim Jordan.
So you've created a backdater? Excellent. All right, so I see a couple people over here, but over here it seems as though a couple of you guys might not have been as familiar with a backdater. So what I've got up here is a sample backdater for this event that you guys are at right now, the sample LLD. So what you guys will see here is you see little negative signs next to all those numbers over there. You guys probably think negative numbers in planning, what's this? This is pre-planning. The whole purpose of a backdater is to set goals to be accomplished by a certain date. So you'll see up here we've got a couple weeks of pre-planning, and each specific week has a different goal met with it. So as you'll see up there, 12 weeks away, LLD committee meets for brainstorming and planning. So this whole thing is starting 12 weeks before the event actually occurs. We also got conduct assessment, and the location is secured 9 weeks in advance. As we get closer and closer to the event, you'll see more specific things start to take place, such as the trainers meeting, participant registration deadline, and even staff arrival the day before. They're very specific here as to put each date with a specific event that may or may not have a certain amount of weight as far as ensuring the success of the program. So what we're going to do today, what I'd like to do, is we're going to make ourselves a backdater. All right? We're going to play a little game. We are all now members of Cherokee Lodge 123. Welcome to the LEC meeting. In a few months, we are going to be creating our plan for our service and fellowship weekend. So what we're going to do here, over on this whiteboard, is we're going to make ourselves a backdater. Now, lodge officers, I'm going to open this up to you. How many of you have actually planned a service or fellowship weekend before? See a couple guys over there? So I'm going to ask Chris here to help us out a little bit. As you guys start thinking of ideas, we'll start writing ideas down. Once we do that, we'll have their list of responsibilities up here, and then we'll assign certain dates when we think they should be done by. So shout them out, and I'll write them down up here. What certain responsibilities need to be completed in order to have a successful service and fellowship weekend?
First, saying that we're going to have one and start getting it out there for people.
Okay, so let's write down promotional material. Cool. What else?
Someone would come up with a list of goals and they create a schedule of that. Maybe it's a little early, but something.
Okay. Let's go back to those 6 questions. The who, what, when, where, why, and how. Let's try to answer those with our goal. So the who. What are we going to do for the who? Who is involved in the service and fellowship weekend?
You need to find out who's going to be your staff running the event.
Okay, staff. There we go. So first of all, we got to figure out who's going to run it. So we got staff. We also have participants, right? So we're going to have a participant registration. What else? How about the what? What are we there to do?
Well, as far as service, you need to know what kind of service project people.
There we go. We got to plan out what service projects we're going to need. So we're going to need to first of all figure out service projects. Also, what materials are we going to need to make sure those projects are successful? So are we going to need people to either bring their own shovels, or if we're doing landscaping, are we going to need to go outside the lodge to find different supplies, transportation, whatnot? So I'm going to put down supplies. Okay. What else?
A location.
A location, that's what I'm looking for. Location. All right, we're getting low here. All right, location.
Date.
A date. Perfect. Anyone else? What questions have we asked? We've asked the who, staff participants are going to be involved in this. The what, we're there to do service, so we've got our service projects. The where, we've already, we put location down here. The when, we've got the date, and the how. So the how would probably go under promotional materials. Are there any other how ideas we can think about? Advisors, I'm going to open this up to you. Do you have any other input?
How we do this successfully.
Okay. So how would you go about doing this successfully? Would you say, you know what, let's put create a backdater up here. We'll put that on our list of goals. Okay. So now up here we've got a list of responsibilities, right? I'm going to take an eraser, and what we're going to do is on the board, directly across from that, we're going to start writing some of our backdater that we're going to create today. Okay.
More than a date, too. You need a schedule of events, too.
Okay.
You need more than details.
As you guys think of more pieces of this schedule that we're creating, please feel free to shout them out. A budget. Budget. I'm sorry, what did you say? Schedule?
Schedule. Detail.
Okay. So let's say, it says up there, we have 3 months. All right, so can anyone do some math? How many weeks are in a month?
Roughly 4.
About 4. So we got 3 months, so we got about 12 weeks, right? So I'm going to put up here at the start, we got negative 12 weeks. All right, so LEC, I'm going to put it out to you. What do you guys think should be the first thing we start doing? The broadest, the widest piece of this that we could really start planning with?
Sending out individual goals to the committees to start working on.
Okay. Do you think that would go under creating the backdater? Create the backdater. So 12 weeks, we'll have our backdater done? Okay. Any other goals you guys think should be done within 12 weeks?
Can't start without a date.
Nope, can't start without the plan. All right. So let's go 11 weeks. What do you guys think? I would say at 11 weeks, I would at least like to have a date and location secured. I think that's important. So let's put date.
You might also need to know your budget if you
Okay.
require payment for the location.
Date and budget. Then why don't we put location at 10 weeks? So that still gives us a couple months. Okay. So off our list here, we're going to cross date off. We're going to cross budget, backdater, and location. All right. We're down to 9 weeks. Okay, 9 weeks while our staff.
We got to define the project first.
Define the project, okay? So that would go under, over here, our schedule, most likely. You want to do service projects first? Let's do service projects. Are these too light for you guys to see? If they are, just let me know and I'll try to write a little darker. All right. Any other thoughts about 8 weeks?
Promotion.
Promotion? Yep. Let's get promotional material. Okay? We don't have to go specifically week by week by week. If you guys think of any other goals, if you guys have any ideas as to what you think should be, done within, maybe 4 weeks, 3 weeks or so, you can even do the day before. What do you guys think? Participant registration, that's a good point. Participant registration, you have to be careful with participant registration because some people will wait until the very last minute to register for an event. However, if you do let them wait to the last minute, sometimes it doesn't work as well and it just becomes a mess of people that you have there, so you can't really plan for that. So for participant registration, Tim, what were you saying?
Start like a month early.
A month early? So about 4 weeks, you'd say, participant registration deadline. Okay, so I'll put that down here. This marker's dying. That's better. Thank you. Yes. 4 weeks.
Let's take 4 weeks the post in the early bird. Take 4 weeks post in the early bird registration.
He was put in 4
Oop.
weeks as his final registration.
That's final registration.
Yeah.
You guys are motion.
No, we're not, that's why we're putting it.
All right. What else? Let's start getting logistical. Let's start thinking about little details, little things that have either gone awry for you guys as a lodge before. All right.
We need to start looking at procurement of supplies, where, availability costs,
Okay.
if you have any patches that you're designing, how long it's going to
Okay. That's something we didn't put over here. Let's put patches. All right. So supplies. Where would you put that as an advisor?
For me personally, I put it out close to the 8-week or 7-week mark,
7 week. So 7 week.
and patches even before that.
So at the 7 week mark, we're going to have our service supplies. And then for patches, what would you say for those? 8 weeks? Everyone else can have input.
At least 8 weeks.
At least 8 weeks? So let's couple promotional material with patches.
And it depends on how you're going to do the patches. If you're letting the youth design it, you need even more time than that. So they better go 6
Right.
by 6 days.
So by the 8 week mark, you should have your patches secured.
Yeah.
Okay?
When I go to an event, most people enjoy the food.
That's important. That's very important.
They're obviously not getting better
It sounds
this
like a
event.
given, but you have to plan on it, otherwise there won't be any.
All right.
How you ate last night.
Yeah. So what do you guys think for food? How long, I'll talk to Chris. Chris, how long did it take you guys to get food for this event? Couple weeks? So what do you think, 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks? 5 weeks? Let's put 5 weeks.
Well, just remember, you can't do food order until you know who's coming in 4 weeks.
That's important.
You can plan that.
Okay?
You can still have your menu plan, I just don't know how much of it to buy until you have your menu.
Okay, so menu plan.
I've seen more organizations kill their bank account by overcommitting early before you have that membership number and committing to a caterer or a food service, and that kills your budget because you're obligated at that point. So that's a area to be careful about.
And then even if we're not able to order the food until much later, we can still recruit the customers far ahead.
Okay. So menu plan and staff.
Under the, if you plan on having any kind of guest speakers or anything, you need to plan that early.
Okay.
Make sure that they can fit it into their schedules.
Okay, so you want to put that with service project 9 weeks in advance? I just want to stop for a minute here and say, look at all these things that we're talking about, just for one weekend, all right? All these different facets of things we're talking about. This is program. This is what we have to think about as members of the LEC, these intricate little details that we're talking about. This is what makes events, all right? So, what we've got here is pretty good. I'm going to leave it right here, But do you guys understand how the backdater works and why it's important to use? Do you guys see this is a model? Good? Shake some heads? Excellent. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pass out. Brayden, could you pass those things out, please? The handouts. These are handouts of the sample backdater you guys saw. Please use this as a model. I find that it works very well, especially in planning my own personal lodge stuff, as well as section things as well. So this will give you guys a resource to go back to after this training is over. And then I'm just going to sum up here. As you see what we did when we created this backdater, we had to prioritize. You saw discussion was created because people felt strongly about different things. As a group of individuals, we all have so many different ideas going through our heads that in order to create one solid plan, we need everyone's input. Also, backdaters are a tool to be used. All right? If we just create it and then we don't stick to that, basically that's just words on a whiteboard right now. Those are just ideas that we threw up there. Backdaters are tools that need to be implemented, especially starting with 12 weeks from there on out. If you guys start letting things go, you start letting things pile up, then by the time you get to that 4-week mark with participant registration, you guys are going to have a mess on your hands because things aren't done on time. You're going to be overclogged. People are going to be stressing out. As you saw in Kevin's program, it'll lead to all of those elements of stress and an early death, which is sad. Also, don't keep them a secret. Sometimes, I know this personal experience from my own lodge, people can create backdaters, but then if nobody knows about them, you know, that's, again, just words on a piece of paper. Distributing the backdater is just as important as creating it. Making sure that people understand what's on it, understand whose responsibilities fall underneath it. That's what's going to ensure you guys a great program, especially coming up in this coming year. Let's start talking about. Actually, before I go on, does anyone have any questions?
Not so much a question, but Mr. Armstrong brought up the point that if you're ever doing project planning, one of the things you might consider is that you have dependencies. Like he mentioned, you don't want to order your food before you know how many people are coming. Mr. Finn mentioned that too. So each task in your project plan may have a dependency that you can start.
Exactly. And those are the discussions that need to be had at LAC meetings. Those are the business meetings, and that's why you guys are here to help sort all those questions out. Does anyone else have any more questions before we move on?
Let me add something quick. Like Kyle said with the backdater, don't keep it a secret. What we talked about before with communicating and making maybe a lodge calendar with all the big dates for things to be done, you need to put it out there so that people stay accountable and so that you don't end up with no participants registered and you need to order food. And you can't do that because you don't know who's coming. Everything has to go in progression. If you keep accountable and you stay on task, you'll be able to do that. But once you throw things off and you get off the backdater, you're in for a whole mess of trouble. So it's really important to stay on things like that.
Google Drive is a fantastic tool for sharing things with your whole LAC. You can just put it up there. You can have a shared folder, have a lodge email account, and you just share everything with everybody. They can all get the information you need immediately.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So that does it. Any more questions right there?
Just one more. Everyone for our lodge, everyone knows we have a lodge calendar.
I have it with me.
Okay.
Good.
I want to make sure, since it was brought up, we do have a lodge calendar that's kept up to date. So.
That's very important. Okay. Next up, I've got this thing called the X Factor. Has anyone seen the TV show X Factor? Or you seen it, right? Okay. Tell me a little bit about that show. What's the whole point of it? Besides it being a singing competition, why do they call it the X Factor? Just watch it? Okay. They call it the X Factor because what they're looking for on this show is a voice that it's individualistic and it's got a certain, it connects with people in a certain way in which it's entertaining, the whole entertainment aspect of it. It's a certain quality that, it's not quite discernible with just a single adjective. However, this emotion, being able to reach out to an audience, captivate them, and experience the same kind of similar emotions that the performer is singing, that's why they have a show, they call it the X Factor. That's what we're going to talk about right here. So we're going to relate this to events real quick, all right? Click that. It's clicking? Is it clicking?
Get that.
Okay. All right, so basically with the X factor, every event needs to be unique and different. What I'm talking about with the X factor is what's your selling point for this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing here. What's the main theme, so to speak, of your there it is. What's the main theme of your weekend going to be? What's going to be that point that you can talk to people about? The one key idea that'll branch out. Start with a single idea, and then from that one topic, you can let ideas, programs flow from that. All right? There's a quote up there right now. It says, there's a difference between a tradition and a bad habit. All right? Now, I know personally with myself, I come from a lodge that merged in 2010. One of the things that we felt during that merger was some people had different opinions as to what was proper lodge program. They said, this is the way we've always done it, this is the way we want to continue doing it, and this is the way it's going to happen. Other people said, well, we feel the same exact way, so that's not going to work because our ideas contrast. What I'm trying to say to you guys right now is that even if something may have been good enough before to get by with an event, that's not an excuse not to go above and beyond and create a new X factor, to create that new sort of theme, that new sort of vibe that you want to give off, and make each event individualistic and make it your own. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand you guys out another sheet. Hand them out. There's 3 sheets. All right, we're going to look over them. We're going to hit the clicker button. This is the thematic element handout. You're going to see an example. It's in the right there. Yeah. You're going to see a thematic example from Blue Heron Lodge, something that they did for one of their events, which turned out to be very popular. I wish it was a fox dance, unfortunately. Yeah, the whole, there's 3 to a thing. So just pass those out. Could you just give me a thematic element one real quick? Thank you. So you guys will be getting 3 pieces of paper. One of them's just got this little write-up here. You guys can see that. And then you've got these 2 posters. I'm going to ask you guys, once we start going through, let's take a look at these posters. Let's check out some of the key points about them. What makes them exemplary in that word? All right, do you guys need some help passing them out? All right. All right. So as you guys are receiving your papers, I'm going to ask that you look at the write-up first. It's really short, not too hard of a read. Has everyone else still got the Fox song going through their head? Stuck in mine already.
Put it in my head. I will never leave this.
What does the fox say?
What does the fox say? That's actually going to come up later. I'll show you guys how. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to finish up the session with a little thing about that. All set? Does everybody have one? All right. Let's take a look at this thematic elements write-up real quick. I'm just going to read it. It won't take too long. It's a pretty well-known fact. If events aren't fun, attendance is going to struggle. That's why Blue Heron Lodge decided to inject some creativity into its lodge events by committing to a theme for each event. At a recent fall fellowship, for example, the lodge had a zombie theme. This permitted the lodge to promote the event by announcing zombie survival tips in months leading up to the event. The event itself included activities such as a haunted hayride. Attendance was outstanding for the fall fellowship. The lodge also had a fun theme for the recent conclave, involving painting t-shirts, costumes, chants, and spirit items. Then, at a summer ordeal, the lodge opened up the camp's pool for a pool party at the conclusion of the ordeal, which was a huge success. One lodge member took a graphic arts class in high school and designed posters for each event. The lodge printed the posters and handed out quarter-sized versions for handouts. The designs increased awareness and promoted these themes for the events. Samples of those diagrams are attached to this resource. By focusing on what the youth want to see at events, the lodge has increased lodge morale and increased participation at events. It looks forward to continuing its membership and offering creative solutions to making events more fun. So that's just a little write-up for you guys to take home. Look at that. What you guys have here are 2 posters. All right, let's take a look at these. Initial impressions of the darker one right here. What do you guys notice about this poster? Just shout ideas out. There's a heron on it. Now, why would there be a heron on such a poster? It's their totem, all right? They've decided to brand themselves with this heron here. You see that? You guys understand? When you have a single image or something to work around, you can take that image, reproduce it in so many different ways that people will start associating that image with the program itself. That's why, you saw that video about the red fox. I saw a lot of you guys lit up about that because some of you know personally, that's my lodge totem. That this has significance to me. For them, it's the blue heron. So you see, that's the centerpiece of this poster. That's what attracts everyone's eye. And when they see that, lodge members know, oh, hey, something's going on with the lodge. What else do we notice?
Conclave.
Conclave, yep. How about down here towards the bottom? What do we see here? Yep, we got a registration information down there. We also have the time, April 29th through May 1st. It also gives you the location at Camp T. Brady Saunders. All right? Now the second poster that they put up for their fall fellowship, you'll see, again, what's right there in the middle? The blue heron. Again, you see the continuity between these 2 posters? People will recognize this as an event poster. If you guys can pick a theme like this and continue it on, see there's little variations here, but as they continue to make posters, the themes carry over. It's got continuity to it. So you see here with the Fall Fellowship, again, tells you who it is, what's going on, gives you the date, and this time, instead of focusing on where it is, it gives you a name, a Southern Region Chief. All right? So this poster highlights one key facet of this program. They're going to have a special guest come down, probably give a talk, but just that little tidbit of information on this poster, again, creates more incentive for people to go. Again, at the bottom, registration information. So what I'd like you guys to do is keep these, look at them. Hopefully, the main goal of this is for you guys to use these, and hopefully this will inspire you to create something for Lowanne Nimat. Use your totem, use whatever you guys want, create that theme, and then make sure it's continuous. Make sure it pervades all sorts of events. It's recognizable, and you guys use it effectively. Do you have a question?
I was just wondering, was this posted that they actually put out?
Yeah, that was posted. That was put out.
Is this how Chief is spelled?
Again, what we need to make sure, again, with promotional things, I'll let communications take care of that. Make sure you go through editing, so we don't have the chief. The chief is coming. All right? Hit the screen. All right. So we discussed this lodge's X factor. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Here's a patch. Congratulations. Thank you for catching my mistake. Appreciate that. All right. So we talked about why this theme works so well. We also talked about resources. As we saw in the handout, what was the resource that this lodge used? Graphic artists from the lodge. They knew who their personnel were, and they used that person to the best of their ability. And the contributions from that person created this for them. All right? So as you guys see, I propose this last question to you. How would you alter or improve this program? What would you do? What would you do to make something like this, with the zombie theme, something like that? What would you guys like to see at your events? What would you guys like your X factor to be?
Better spelling.
Better spelling is great. An entire weekend revolving around grammar.
If we do a theme, try and get everybody in on it.
Okay.
So it's not just 1 or 2 people coming in and having fun, it's everybody getting it.
Okay.
Feeling of unity is
Feeling of unity. That's very important.
And you could go beyond just themes, maybe each, fall fellowship, is that something special just for that one? Like you could play a specific special game, you could have a big fall fellowship.
Okay, so focusing around a game, some kind of idea, you know, maybe there's a TV show, like I know The Walking Dead is very popular, so the zombie theme, it connects with the youth. The important thing I'm getting at with here is connecting with the youth is what's going to bring the youth members there. If they're excited about something's really popular in, you know, pop culture and you're paying attention to it, if you guys can implement that in a way that it's very attractive to people, you guys will have very successful events.
How were these used? Were they sent out to people or posted somewhere? Because if we just put it like
Right.
nobody's going to see it.
Right. These could be hung up at a scouting council office. These could even be just emailed out. Put them up on your lodge Facebook page. That's going to be all under communications.
If you receive an email and all that's on there is that,
Yeah.
it's going to catch your
This would be like an attachment that you would put too.
Also, when you're promoting a big event like that, you want to promote it well in advance. And so you have the opportunity to give those out at events ahead of it, like meetings, you know, chapter meetings, local, you know, lodge
Right.
C meetings.
That's why you saw.
Inductions, things like that.
Yeah, that's why you saw in our backdater 8 weeks beforehand. So 2 months before this event's even happening, promotional materials are getting out. All right, let's keep going. Does anyone have any questions about X Factor? Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about promotion now. Now, your event can be as awesome as you want it to be, but if you guys don't have people there, you know, what's the point, really? These events are planned for people, not for the sake of planning. There's an old quote: if an event is the best event ever in history, but no one was there, did it really happen? Heard something like that about a tree too? You know. Think about that. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at a couple of promotional posters similar to these, but maybe not quite. So you'll see here, what do you guys notice about this? There is a big sale.
It says in big letters what it is.
Yep. A big sale, the lowest prices, and fantastic offers. Those are the only words on that poster.
Well, I mean, you got big white letters on a black background, and it's just huge. That's the only thing you see when you look at it. You see big sale.
They use a lot of color in the background.
Okay. Now, I'm going to steer the conversation one way. What information does this really give you? There's a sale. Do we know where the sale is? Do we know what they're selling? Do we know when the sale is?
We don't even know what this.
How many of those questions that we asked earlier has this poster really answered? One question answered. What is it? It's a big sale.
It doesn't even tell us what this lowest price is.
Exactly. There's no specifics given on this poster.
But on the back in the black, there's writing.
Yeah, but you can see there, even with the color scheme, whatever words are there in the background, you can't see. Someone used a dark font on a dark background, and now it's illegible.
Oh, it does. Those planets next to big.
Those what? I have no idea what those are. If you're confused, I'm just as confused as you are. All right, let's keep going. Okay, here's another poster. Talk to me about this poster.
Way too many words.
Okay, so on this poster, what questions have we answered?
When it is and what it is.
Yep, when it is, what it is. You see down there, June 28th, right down at the bottom of the poster. You see where it is, just above that, at the Silverton Casino parking lot.
I can't see that.
All the way over there, see?
I can't see it.
That's too small. What do you guys notice about, let's look at structure for this one. What do you guys notice about this poster?
I mean, you got all this, like, blue writing or tons of information. Nobody's going to read that. There's just too much of it.
Can you see every single thing that's written on this poster?
No.
No. The font is too small. I would say that there is almost too much information on this poster.
And I know, as an observer, first time I look at this poster, I see the picture,
Okay?
and then I see the giant blob of blue.
Okay?
And I'm not seeing any information as like the first time on my eye.
All right.
All those bands are terrible.
The Aquabats are on there. Shut your mouth. It's my favorite band. Those are bands. Just a little bit of background. This is a poster for a concert series, Vans Warped Tour. Yep.
You can tell it's not presented great because it's shot a really little
information, but I really need the space.
Right, but I mean, you know, just looking at it, we're going to go back to those questions. It answers some of them, but what do you guys think about the presentation?
Not so good.
All right, I'm going to also talk. I'm going to split the room here. Youth, what do you think of this poster? Okay. Okay. Do you?
It's good, but it has too much information.
Okay. Do you guys feel like you relate to it a little bit more? Like, does that look like something? Okay. See, yeses.
I didn't even know that it was about a band.
Okay. So it was confusing to you guys. Adults, I'm going to ask you the same question. How do you guys feel about this poster?
Horrible.
Okay.
Can't read it.
So you'll see, again, going back to Kevin's presentation about communication, we still have some discrepancies here between youth and adults. This poster doesn't reach the largest portion of audience that it potentially could. All right? So thumbs up, middle, thumbs down. What do you guys think?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down? Thumbs down. Next one. Okay. Here's another one. What do you guys notice about this?
Or
It's got information on it, yes.
no colors.
This would be fine if it's very high grades.
There's no pictures. It's just text. It's text on a piece of paper. Right? Okay. So I think what I'm getting from the mulling about here is some people like it. Some people say, great, this has all the information I need. I know where it is. I know when it is. I know what it's going to be. The adults like it because it's got information.
I don't like it.
You don't like it. Talk to me about why you don't like it.
It doesn't catch the eye.
Doesn't catch the eye. There's nothing really there.
Well, it's got a lot of useful drawn out information. Like instead of we will be opening the buffet 7:30 and we'll be continuing to serve you at 9:30. How about just buffet 7:30 to 9:30?
There you go. If you were walking by this poster, would this catch your eye?
No.
Nothing about it really stands out. It's just words on text, right?
I'd say it's almost like high class in a boring way.
A little bit boring. Okay.
I don't believe I can get a drink.
Okay. So again, it's not interesting. We don't like this. Let's go to the next one. So, got a couple key points here. Whole point of this is we need to answer the 5 questions. These 5 questions that we asked for any kind of program are going to be incredibly important, not only within the planning point, but again, when you're making the promotions for it, those 5 questions need to be answered. Coherency. We need to be able to read what's going on. People need to be able to understand and interpret your promotions. They need to be effective, and they need to reach out to the largest amount of audiences as possible. And keep it interesting. Some youth over here, when you saw the Vans Warped Tour poster, I know Chris over there, Chris lit up, you know? That's something he was interested in. You know, he related to that. Make sure you guys have something that not only, you know, has the information, but again, it continues to be interesting in a sense that it'll reach out and clutch someone's attention. All right. So to summarize, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, proper planning. We made a backdater today. You guys now have experience in planning. You guys know what it means to plan ahead. I hope you guys understood a little bit more about what this means. The X factor. We talked about what it means to take a program and to make it unique and individualized. We learned about what are we going to do, what's the theme going to be, what's going to be the central idea we take that branches out. And finally, we talked about promotions. We talked about what are we going to do to get people there. How are we going to make this event incredible by getting an audience of people we don't know. One of our objectives, or one of the favorite things that we said earlier was meeting new people. Best way to meet new people is to promote it to people that you don't personally know. That's how you're going to achieve that goal and make these events the greatest ones you've ever had. Remember, this is your lodge, and it's up to you guys to make it what you want to be. Again, I'm going to re-emphasize what Kevin said, a little bit of let the chief drive the car. Speaking right now to the youth. These program pieces that we just talked about, whatever programs Lowanne Nimat may be running, whatever ideas you guys may have, transcends through unit elections, transcends through fellowship weekends, whatever you guys are doing, make this your own. You guys are the 2013-2014 LEC. This is up to you. And I'm going to pose this question to you guys here. What does the fox say? What does the fox say? I think that's a great segue into one more showing of the video. And I'd like for you guys to really consider that as we continue on through this training session today, through these cells. What are you guys as foxes going to say?
Kyle?
Yes?
I think it'll help all of us really discover what the fox says if we really get into the video and sing along. So we can stand
That's what we got to do. Everybody stand up. So I encourage you all, sing along please. There's lyrics.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow, bird goes tweet, and mouse goes squeak. Cow goes moo, frog goes crow, and the elephant goes too.
Like a little elephant fit. You got choreographic.
And fish go blow, and the seal goes ow, ow, ow. But there's one sound that no one knows.
What does the fox say? What does the fox say? What does the fox say? Come on, guys! Hatchy, 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 ho. Hatchy, 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 ho. What does the fox say? What the fox say?
Big blue eyes, pointy nose, chasing mice and digging holes. Tiny paws up the hill, suddenly you're standing still. Your fur is red, so beautiful, like an angel in disguise. But if you meet a friendly horse, will you communicate by more? Will you speak to that?
What does the fox say? What the fox say? What the fox say? What the fox say?
This one's like flying.
This one's like this is the flying part. What does the fox say?
Oh my god.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you.